Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexandra, and for today's video, we're going to be doing something that you guys voted on and requested yourselves, and that is how do you find your skin's undertone easily and from the comforts of your own home, which these days it's super important to be able to do anything from the comforts of your own home. All right, so first off, I think we should start with what is your skin's undertone and why is it important to know your skin's undertone. So you have two types of tones to your skin. You have your natural tone and then you have your undertone. And it's really important to mention here that your natural tone and your undertone are not the same things, which that used to confuse me forever ago. So I promise you this is all gonna make sense. All right, so your natural tone is the natural tone or hue to your skin prior to makeup being applied. So before you apply any product, what tone is your skin? Like how would you describe it to a friend? Fair, fair light, light medium, medium deep, deep rich, like that sort of thing. For instance, mine is light medium. So that is my natural skin tone before I put on any products. Then you have your undertone. Now your undertone is what affects the products once they've been applied. So those are the tones and hues of your skin underneath, and after you apply the product, that is what is going to affect how the product looks on your skin. For instance, if you pick a wrong tone, you could come out kind of orangey looking. Or in my case, if I pick a tone that's really too cool for me, then I kind of look a little like death. So generally speaking, there are three types of undertones. There is a neutral undertone, a cool undertone, and then a warm undertone. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard other influencers or YouTubers talk about an olive undertone, and we're gonna talk about that, but that one actually falls generally into one of those three categories. Again, we're gonna get to that, but for now, let's talk about how you can pinpoint your own skin's undertone right from the comforts of your own home, starting with our first trick, and that is checking your veins. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard this trick mentioned before, and usually they tell you to look right here on the inside of your wrists, but I've actually come to find that a better indicator is the veins right here in your neck or on your jawline. Those are much better indicators. Now, forewarning, before you try any of these out, make sure you are doing it in bright, natural lighting, because lighting will definitely affect the hue of your skin, veins, all of that. So nice, bright, natural lighting is super important on all of these indicators. So back to the veins. Okay, so look at your wrist if you can't find them in your face, but if you can find them in your face, right here especially, those are gonna be your best indicators. So if your veins look greenish looking, then you probably have a warm undertone. If your veins look more purple or bluish, then you usually have a cool undertone. So if you're like me and your veins pretty much like blend in with your skin and you can't really find a color, they almost appear colorless, or you can't really pinpoint, is it green, is it blue, I can't really tell. More than likely you have a natural undertone like myself. Trick number two is look at your jewelry. Now, most people usually lean towards one or the other, either more yellow gold jewelry or more white gold or silver jewelry. So if you tend to wear or look better in more yellow gold jewelry, then more than likely you have a warm undertoned skin. If you like more silver jewelry or white gold and you think that looks better on you, then more than likely you have more cool toned skin. Or if you're like myself and you like both and just think you look better in everything, then more than likely you have a neutral toned skin. Now, no matter what undertone your skin has, it's always important to wear sunscreen. However, knowing how your skin is affected by the sun can usually be a good sign or an indicator of what undertone your skin has. For instance, if your skin burns really easily, you probably have a more cool undertone skin. Or if your skin never burns and you just tan instantly, then you have more of a warm undertone skin. Or if you're like myself and you kind of burn a little bit, like you get a little red, but then it turns to tan the next day, then more than likely you have a more neutral undertone skin. If you're still not sure what your skin's undertone is, then you can always grab a white piece of paper or even a stark, and I mean stark white shirt, and go into bright natural lighting and hold it up to your face. What kind of color are you seeing come off your skin? Is your skin looking more yellowish compared to the paper? If it is, then you probably have a warm undertone. Does your skin look a little pinkish? Then you probably have a cool undertone. Now, if you're coming off a little green or grayish looking, then more than likely you might have an olive or neutral undertone skin. Also, if you feel like you look better in off-white or creamy hues rather than stark white, more than likely you have a warm toned skin. If you feel like you look better in the stark white clothing, then more than likely you have the cool toned skin. And of course, with everything else, if you're neutral tone, you just look good in everything. So let's talk about that olive skin tone for a second. So olive skin tone is really the most uncommon skin tone. However, it's definitely out there, and it can usually fall in like the neutral category as well. But if your skin appears to be a little bit more ashen or gray or even greenish colored, then more than likely you have an olive color skin tone. I'll give you guys a really good example here of somebody who has a very, very olive toned skin that I know of, and that is Alexandra Anel. She has a very, very olive skin tone, and you can tell, you can almost see like the greenish hues in her skin when you're watching her videos. If you don't know who she is, I'll link her down below, but she has a very, very olive skin tone. So if you have a skin tone similar to hers, more than likely you also have an olive skin tone, which means you pretty much fall in that neutral category where you pretty much look good in everything and you can kind of go in any direction when it comes to like foundation shades, but you normally want to stay away from ones that are too cool, but most of the time, pretty much everything looks good on you. So if you're still not 100% for sure what your skin's undertone is and you want that perfect match, there is one surefire way to get it, and that is go to your local drugstore or even your local Ulta and pick a foundation shade in your skin tone. So for instance, if you're light, medium, pick that tone and then pick the different undertones. Pick one with a neutral undertone, one with a cool undertone, and then one with a warm undertone. Take them home and swatch all three of them on your chest, this lower neck and chest area, and whichever one completely disappears, that's what undertone you have. Now that you've figured out your skin's undertone, let's talk about picking out that perfect foundation shade. So if you have more of a cool undertone skin, you want to pick a foundation that has more of a pink undertone in it. Stay away from anything that has a yellow or golden undertone. Like for instance, the whole Too Faced Born This Way line. This leans so yellow, you guys. It's like a cool undertones nightmare right here. So try to stay away from anything yellow or golden. You want to pick more of the pinkish undertoned shades. So if you have a warm undertone, then you want to go for more of the yellow or goldenish shades. That is your jam. Stay in that lane. Now, if you figured out that you have a more neutral undertone, you can pretty much get away with anything. However, you don't want to go too pink and you don't want to go too yellow. You kind of want to stay right there in the middle. So usually peachy colors are definitely your vibe. Now, if you think or been told you have a more olive undertone skin, then you want to stay away from those yellowish hues and you want to stay away from those really, really pink hues. You want to be right there in that golden category. Like golden colors, that's your jam. And on that note, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I really hope this helps you all in finding your skin's undertone and therefore finding your skin's perfect foundation match and shade, because I know what a pain it is, but I promise you guys, once you get it, you got it, it's there, because your skin's undertone does not change. So once you figure it out, that's it, you got it, you're good to go. As always, if you have any questions at all, leave them down below in the comment section. I will be sure to get back to you. It might take me a day or two, but I always try to respond to everyone's questions. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you did, and welcome to our little family. If you already did hit that subscribe button, if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, because that lets me know that you want to see more videos like this one. All right, so again, that's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, see ya.